What up, everybody? It's your boy Young Fizz, aka Mr. Dope Status on Instagram, and welcome back to another tutorial. So today we are back inside the Maschine, and we're going to be taking a look at a stock plugin inside of Maschine known as Reverb Legacy. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and please do not forget to turn on the bell notification so whenever I drop a new video, you will be the first one to be notified. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's tutorial, which is the Reverb plugin. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is the difference between the Metaverb and all the other reverbs inside a Maschine versus the Reverb, which is the legacy version? Now, the simple answer is that this one is a lot more natural sounding. So for example, what can it be used on? Things such as drums, vocals, guitar, anything that has like an acoustic type of feel to it. It's going to have that more natural sound. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the reverb parameters here. If you haven't already loaded it up, you just simply click this plus sign, go to internal, and then scroll down to the reverb, and it's going to say legacy in parentheses there. All right, so that is the reverb loaded. Now we're going to be talking about the different parameters, which is the room, EQ, position, and the output. All right, so starting with the room, you're going to have some presets under the room tab, right? So you're going to have the general, you're going to have bright, guitar, and shatter. So I'm going to go ahead and instantiate my plugin. I'm going to listen to what each of them sound like here off the rip. All right, so this is what general sounds like. Again, this is what general sounds like. This is what bright sounds like. This is what bright sounds like. This is what the guitar sounds like. This is what the guitar sounds like. This is what shatter sounds like. This is what shatter sounds like. So each of them have its own little characteristic. You have the shatter, which sounding kind of dark, boomy. You have the guitar sounding kind of boomy. You have the bright sounding kind of bright, and then you have the general just sounding just natural like it is. So with the room, you have something called the size, and that is the parameter right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this back on, and we're gonna control the room using the size control here. So when we turn it to the left, as you can hear, it has more like of a tight sound. And if we turn it to the right, it's gonna make it sound like we're more in a gymnasium, right? And it has more sustain, all right? It takes longer for it to die down. All right, so that just basically adjusts the size of the room. So now that we talked about the room, let's go ahead and talk about the EQ section. Now, this is one of the more important concepts that you want to understand is EQing your reverb. And this is the difference between a good mix and a great mix. So let's go ahead and instantiate this, and we're going to go ahead and adjust the low and the high. Now, this is the middle of the reverb here. So this is at 50%. If we lower it, you can kind of hear how it cuts out that low end. If we raise it, it gets a little bit more boomy, right? So you're really controlling your reverbs here. Same thing for the highs. You can really boost the highs, hear the S's. You can really make them sound muffled, push it back in the mix, all right? So that is the EQ section. Now the next section here is going to be the position, right? Now this is important because this basically controls your pan and the stereo field and how wide that you want your stereo field, right? So now if you turn it to the left, let me go ahead and turn this on. And we're going to bring the mix all the way down here for now. Okay, so now we're looking at the position. And this is one of the more important concepts as well with this particular reverb, because the pan knob is important because it controls the signal before it hits the reverb. So if you turn it to the left, you can hear how the vocal is in the left. And if you turn it to the right, you can hear the vocal on the right. And the cool thing about this is that you can also pan it anywhere in between. So left, right, and anywhere in between. Now, why is this cool? Because we can basically control it before it hits the reverb and do cool radio effects, right? Bay Area. All right, so that is pretty much the position switch. Now let's go ahead and look at the stereo. And for this, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the mix just a little bit, just so we can kind of hear the effect, right? So now this is what it sounds like right here in the middle. Increasing it to the right, you can kind of hear how it sounds a little bit more wider, almost like a chorus effect. Very good to thicken vocals and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Adds a little bit more width to your tracks, no matter if it's guitar, drums, vocals, whatever it may be. All right. So far we talked about the room, we talked about the EQ, we talked about the position. Now let's talk about the output section, right? Now, there's basically two main things about the output. Of course, you have your mix, which is simple control between the wet and dry ratio. And then what I really want to focus on is the freeze button here. Now, this is cool for, let's say, live performers, right? So if I'm performing live and I want to do like some crazy build up or break, I could freeze this in real time. So what do I mean? Let me go ahead and show you what I mean by this here. Reverb, reverb, reverb. And I can adjust this to my liking as well. So let's go ahead and turn this up here. And I'm going to boost this. Reverb. So basically what this does, it mutes the dry signal and the wet signal, and it just keeps it in a temporary buffer that allows it to last a lot longer. So again, it's mainly for playing live. So the cool thing about all these switches and knobs is that they could be automated. So this is pretty much the Reverb Legacy plugin inside of Maschine. I hope you guys found this to be valuable. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the bell notifications. It's your boy Young Fizz, aka Mr. Dope Status on Instagram. If you have any questions, any comments, please leave them down in the comment section below. I will try to answer it as soon as I possibly can. Thank you for watching. We will see you on the next tutorial. We out.